What is up, everyone? Good morning. It's your host again, Carlos Ponce here. And this is episode 22 of Advancio Talks, and we're live. Um, Today, we have a special guest. We have Osama Hashmi. He is the CEO of the Social Nexus. He's going to be telling all about himself and his company in a minute. Thank you, Osama, for jumping into the invitation in such a short notice because just yesterday Osama said, "Yes, I'll do it." Right?
Of course.
Okay.
So thank
Yeah.
you so much, Carlos, for having
Sure.
me. So I'm going to
Okay.
introduce
Sure.
myself. My name is Osama Hashmi. I'm the CEO and the lead founder of the Social Nexus. And from almost a past decade now, it's been like 8, 9 years. The time have gone really fast.
Uh huh.
So what we exactly do is I started my company inside my house kitchen. Literally in my kitchen, I started this company, built it. Now we provide web solutions, web development, digital marketing, AI automations, and these type of new development solutions. This is what we do. We started from scratch, and now we have built a really huge company that values a lot of people all over the world.
That is so great. It's
Yeah.
like the proverbial the garage. I started from my garage kind of
Yeah.
story, right?
I
And
didn't have
then
a garage, so I had to start from my kitchen. you know.
right. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that, Osama. Okay, so
Yeah.
all right. So tell us a little bit about Nexus. I mean, you mentioned it, but let me go back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about you first. So, who is Osama Hashmi? What is your story, your background? Anything you want to say about yourself to share with the audience?
So Carlos, I'm just a kid who dreamt really big out of the box. So I did my graduation from University of Hertfordshire as a computer science. And when I graduated, the computer science and the software development industry was booming. Everyone was going for high-tech jobs, six-figure jobs. Everyone was jumping into jobs and going for jobs. But I wanted something different. I moved from a different path. I wanted to build something, and when I did build it, there was a lot of what I can say friction with the people I knew. Everyone was like, "You're making a huge mistake. This is the time to start a huge career for yourself, but you're building a company. It can go wrong." And my answer was always, my worst case scenario is I fail and I do a job just like you. So
Uh-huh.
at the end of the day, it worked out. I'm just glad it did. Work really hard on it, met the right people, and built the right team at the end of the day.
Great. So thank you for sharing that part of your journey, of your background. And now tell us a little bit about next the social nexus. What is the social nexus and what is your value proposition?
So the whole value proposition, I think it was different when we started it, and it's way different now because of how the tech industry has moved since the last few years, since the change of AI. We did start with providing development solutions which solve real life problems. But now I think thanks to we are providing solutions, development solutions with the help
Mhm.
of AI, which are more intelligent, which are more realistic, which are solving more difficult problems. So that's the whole idea, is to solve real life problems with the help of AI rather than replacing the human element. We are adding the human element as well and solving real problems.
Okay. You mentioned AI,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's
Mhm.
a key element of today's conversation because if I
Yeah.
recall correctly, we're going to be talking about outsmarting AI or building what AI can't replace. So let's start there. Let's kick it off. Let's kick off today's Advanced Talks episode with the title, the name for the conversation. Why did you feel that outsmarting AI would be a relevant topic for today's day and age? And how do you
Yeah.
suggest that we can do that?
So, Carlos, the topic comes from observing a huge gap which the companies are racing to adopt AI without understanding the boundaries of AI. So, I wanted to have this conversation today with you to have a space to realize the space which we are creating between AI's new capabilities and the irreplaceable human capabilities as well. So, the
Hmm.
huge gap is being created where we are pushing AI solutions, but we are kind of creating a gap of human elements, which I don't think anyone can replace at the end of the day. So that is
Hmm.
where the competitive advantage is being created right now. So that's the whole idea. That's the conversation I wanted to have today.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
So now let's start with the first. I have a question for you, and I'm going to call it the elephant in the room. AI is everywhere, right?
of course it is.
So what is it that AI can't replace? In your experience, for example, building solutions for clients, what is the biggest
Mhm.
misconception that businesses have about AI's capabilities versus human
Yeah.
developers, for example?
So, Carlos, the biggest misconception which I feel is that AI is developer replacement, which cannot be true. I think all of the AI development companies like Claude or Cursor, all of them, when they started as, they wanted to advertise themselves as that we would be replacing the developers from the market, but
Mm-hmm.
that just did not happen. Even for them it did not happen, and even it would not even happen in the next 10 years. Why? Because AI can accelerate the execution, but it cannot make decisions for you. It doesn't architect the system. It
Hmm.
doesn't understand the business model. It does not understand the financial restraints on the business. It cannot make the highly intellectual uh, decisions that are needed by the developer or the humans or the tech industry people.
Hmm.
The major question I would like to come back to your question is the major misconception is that people think thanks to AI, a lot of things would be accelerated. That is true. But many things humans would be needed in. So I don't think we should make it as a man versus machine kind of
Hmm.
thing, but
Uh-huh.
rather we need to be working together on it. So there's a huge that misconception that is actually dying off. That's a good thing as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, and I do know. I mean, I've had a lot of conversations around AI in the show, and when we touch on the point of the AI, there's a
Yeah.
lot of effervescence because there are so many mixed opinions about what AI can or can't do. But in
Mhm.
that context, so for example, in your case, I know you have built custom CRMs and complex automation systems. So, what aspects of custom development require that human intuition that AI simply can't replace or replicate yet?
The human intuition.
Yes, what aspects of custom development require
Think,
that human intuition that AI can't
yeah.
replace yet?
I think it's the same thing which I would say. AI lacks the meta awareness. It can expand possibilities, but only human can prioritize. For example, if we have a huge system to build, which part of the system needs to be built first, which part needs to be built later onwards, that includes ethical judgment. Ethical judgment includes understanding the user requirements properly and then implementing on them. So again, there are many things I can list on for you. For
Mhm.
example, ethical judgment, ambiguity resolution, where client doesn't understand what they want normally.
Mhm.
So I think 60 to 70% of our clients are not IT or tech smart, but we do help them resolve or understand what even they are looking for,
Mhm.
right? So these type of things AI cannot really solve. You do need a human being. You do need a person with tech knowledge to understand other people as well.
Right.
I hope that answers your
No,
question.
no, it sure does. It
Yeah,
sure does, and
yeah.
that leads me to the next question, which is, When I think of AI and humans, I think of balance, right? I mean, I am not an engineer by any stretch of the
Yeah.
imagination, but I do talk to a lot of engineers, and whenever I have these conversations, I think of balance, right? So we
Yeah.
rarely touch on that aspect of balance. So, for example, let's say that when you are architecting a solution from scratch, for example, what percentage of the work do you think that AI can realistically handle versus what requires experienced developers?
Yeah. So, Carlos, I always say this: AI handles the execution, humans handle the thinking. So, in percentage way, I would say AI can handle almost 30 to 40% of implementing the code, documentation, prototypes, even testing the scripts as well, thanks to AI automation, right? The rest 60 to 70% lies on the developers, which includes high level decision making, analysis, the market analysis,
Mhm,
the marketing budget, the user centered design of the product, and even integrating the complex business processes
mhm,
and solving real problems. So 60 to 70 percent relies on the developer,
mhm,
the 30 to 40, which includes the coding and all the technical related thing, can be done.
mhm. And,
Yeah.
and you are based on what I know about you. I know you're passionate about user focused digital experiences, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how does human empathy, for example, play into creating solutions that truly resonate with end users?
Yeah. So, Carlos, at the end of the day, data can show the behavior, but it cannot understand the feeling, right? So, when I'm sitting in front of you, I can read your emotions, I can read your facial expressions, I can understand what you like and what you do not like,
Hmm.
rather than you communicating with me directly. But in the case of AI, that cannot be the case, right? So that's something AI cannot replace: the human empathy, the feelings, the understanding of human behavior. Truly, that cannot be understood by AI of today. I'm not talking about the AI of the future.
Hmm.
Of course, that might be uh, able to express these type of things.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and uh, and I believe that, well, you specialize in AI automation, right? So including chat bots, for example, voice bots, that kind
Hmm.
of thing, right? So
Yeah.
where is the sweet spot between using AI and knowing when to keep humans in the loop? That's interesting.
That's interesting. So I think that's a good question. So AI, it lacks the meta awareness, obviously, as I said before. So it's important to have the human element be there always, rather than we need to find it later onwards. I think we just need to have the human element always be there,
Mhm.
right? So rather than relying on AI, which will 100% lack emotion, which will 100% lack the human empathy, we always need to rely on the developer for that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And how about you? I mean, you personally in your company, how are you using AI tools in your own development workflow at the social nexus, for example? And where do you draw the line?
So I think I do not draw any line here, honestly speaking, because there are limitations of using AI.
Hmm.
So I personally let my team use AI until they fail.
Uh-huh.
There isn't any limit to that. So even in you can say hiring, automation, our internal processes have been automated thanks to AI, and a lot of our coding and development has been relying, especially the writing, coding, documentation, all of the processes which I told you before,
Hmm.
all of them are already being relying on the coding. So the place where I draw the line, and I think I don't draw the line, the AI draws the line because it fails to do so.
Hmm.
That is the human empathy, understanding the client, understanding their needs, all of those type of things. At the end of the day, humans need to have conversation to understand that.
Hmm. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Human conversations. Uh,
yeah.
and what about, um, I'm thinking of use cases, for example, for businesses investing in, let's say, custom software development today, for example.
Mhm.
How do you think they should, what we call future proof their applications against AI disruption?
Um, I don't think that's really a huge issue, honestly speaking.
Hmm.
But future proofing is technically about flexibility, right, rather than prediction.
Right.
So the flexibility is the new scalability, right? So how fast can you scale your business? How fast can you scale your product under different circumstances? Should be enough for future proofing your product,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
So I personally don't think that's a huge problem.
Hmm.
So maybe I'm not the best person to answer this
That's
question.
okay. No, don't worry. No, it's just that
Yeah.
I'm just
See,
thinking like,
see, at the end of the day, yeah, if your system can evolve quickly,
right,
AI becomes a competitive advantage rather than a threat.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, no,
Okay.
and that's perfect because, as I said before, I'm just a layman. I'm not the expert here, so I have some questions in my head that might not even be relevant. But thank you for clarifying that part. Now, let me. We're talking about the industry challenges and solutions that in AI and keeping humans in the loop, right? And in your
Yeah.
case, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But in your case, I believe that you work on everything from WordPress sites to complex
Yeah.
mobile apps, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
That's correct.
okay, so which I'm just curious because there's always in every area of human activity, there's always some resistance or some group or some sector that is kind of adamant about adoption. So,
Hmm.
which types of projects have you worked on that have been most resistant to AI disruption and why? I'm just curious.
Okay. So do you mean in terms of products or do you mean in terms of client
Yeah.
side?
Could be anything.
uh,
It could, which types of projects? It could be.
Okay, so mainly the type of see, at the end of the day, the project, it starts from the person who thought of the project or the person who is executing the project, right?
Mhm,
So if the person, for example, the client is really reluctant on using AI, that becomes a huge hurdle,
mhm,
right? And if the client is not the problem, sometimes on multi-layered CRMs where we have different types of CRMs that needs to be integrated,
mhm,
there the AI sometimes lag, and sometimes even have seen really the best AI in the market have failed
mhm,
on multi-layered CRMs, right? So anything that requiring interpretation or long-term maintainability, that resists automation, that
mhm.
always resists automation.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. I mean, that definitely sheds a lot of
Hmm.
light into what I was wondering. Now, let's talk a little bit about what I call strategic positioning. Okay. Let's say
Hmm.
that a company approached you today wanting to
Hmm.
build a competitive advantage. What would you
Hmm.
advise them to invest more in AI tools or in skill
Hmm.
development teams or both?
Hmm. Both. Invest in developers who know how to leverage
Mhm,
AI. That's it. You cannot rely on people who cannot use AI.
mhm,
They will be replaced immediately.
mhm,
The people who can use and leverage AI will always be the developer who cannot use and leverage AI. So leveraging AI means using AI to your competitive advantage.
mhm,
So I understand not every developer can understand every single tech, understand every single language, but if the developer can understand how to leverage the AI and use it to learn a new language or implement a new functionality on a new language he has never worked on, he will win.
Okay.
Right, so the company, that's what I'm trying to say is the combination of human strategic intelligence plus AI execution is just unbeatable, Carlos.
Excellent.
It's 100% unbeatable.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks. That's absolutely. I totally agree with you. Now,
yeah.
we're still talking about strategic positioning, and in that context, um, well, my perception as a layman, as a normal
Yeah.
average user, is that sometimes
Hmm.
I feel overwhelmed because I feel that it's kind of AI everything oversaturated market, right? Like it's starting to
Yeah.
bloat, and then everyone's talking about AI. Everyone has a solution. So, considering that, what advice would you give companies? It could be a software development company or a platform or a SaaS product. What advice would you give to these companies that are trying to differentiate themselves in an AI saturated market?
Yeah. So I would just tell them to stop selling the code.
Okay.
Right, so if you're still selling code, you're out of the market, man.
Uh
Because
huh.
any layman, because the next future coding language is going to be English. Everyone knows that, right? So stop selling code, because AI can generate code, it cannot generate vision. What you need to sell is insight, strategy, the architecture, the outcomes, and solving the real
Uh
problems.
huh.
So you're not just selling the code at the end of the day, right? So even chat gpt can generate the most complex code in the planet right now. So just get away from the code and try to solve real life problems.
There's something that I heard you say, in which kind of tickled me a little bit. You said the next coding language is English, right?
Yeah,
So what do you mean by that? I mean, I think I get the gist. I
yeah.
know where you're going to, but I would like you to tell us, why did you say this?
So at the end of the day, literally right now, Carlos, you can open any basic AI GPT generative prompt text, and you can ask it to solve the most difficult coding problems, and it will solve it,
Uh
right?
huh.
So that's not the solution which we should be aiming at right now. So you can build applications, you can build a lot of things just using the prompts, the English language prompts you're giving.
Mm-hmm.
The major solution you should be providing is the insights, the analytic solutions,
Okay.
the problem solving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason I think coding is just it's gone. It's not gone entirely. You would be relying on a developer,
Mm-hmm.
but the coding itself is just going to be replaced with the English language
Okay.
or any language in the world.
So is that what you call? Well, some people call prompt engineering. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of,
Kind of.
yes.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see what the future holds.
yeah, it's
It's
exciting.
exciting. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now back to you. I understand that you have built high converting e-commerce solutions as well, right?
Yes, we have.
So, okay. So what can I ask you? What conversion automation? I mean, I'm sorry. What conversion optimization strategies require human insight that AI hasn't mastered yet?
The conversion strategies, you mean?
I'm sorry, say again, please.
You mean the conversion strategies in e-commerce?
Well, the question is, what conversion optimization strategies require, like a must, require human insight that AI hasn't mastered yet? So,
Uh,
in other words,
yeah,
what should humans do? Where should humans
yeah,
intervene in an
yeah.
area that AI is really not apt
Mhm.
just for solving these problems in conversion?
So I see everything. It starts from our side. So the thing I believe which AI cannot resolve, and you need the human insight, is the design.
Hmm.
So many times a really great website comes to us, and the design, the UI/UX design is extremely poor.
Mm-hmm.
So the 70 to 80% of the problems of an AI e-commerce solutions are solved by having an enhanced design of the user of the e-commerce website,
Mm-hmm.
having new website, having new designs, having new banners, having new solutions which attract the human psychology and pushes you to purchase more and spend more on the website. That's an analysis right now I don't think any AI can do
Mm-hmm.
in the market.
Yeah, I totally agree with you in that sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
The design analysis.
the design analysis, absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's a good way to put it. All right,
yeah,
Osama, we are approaching like the final segment of today's episode, and I have one more
yeah.
question regarding the future. Right? Let's
Hmm.
say looking ahead, let's say 3 to 5 years, what types of development work do you believe will become more valuable, not less, despite AI
Hmm.
advancements?
So I think the value, Carlos, is shifting from writing code to designing intelligence. So we have seen AI jumping into designs, jumping into UI UX design, jumping into graphic designing, but the value still holds between designing high, strong e-commerce solutions, which AI cannot replicate at the end of the day. So I think the market is shifting from writing code to designing intelligence,
Hmm.
which can still include technical stuff as well, like systems architecture, hybrid intelligence systems, and the custom enterprise automation systems, the ERP and CRMs. We need to have them according to the new market.
Okay,
You know,
gotcha.
yeah,
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, I could go on and on, but I'm sure there's going to
yeah,
be a lot more questions and a lot more. I'm sure the viewers out there who might be watching now or in the future, because this is being recorded as we speak, right? And it will be promoted.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
how can people reach out to you if they have any questions or if they, any how can people get hold of you essentially? Are you on LinkedIn? Do you have a
So
website, email?
yeah, so they can get in touch with me from my LinkedIn, from my email address,
That's your
and you
LinkedIn
can
right
even
there,
reach.
right?
Yeah, that's my LinkedIn. You can also reach out to me from my email address as well.
So the
Um,
email
I
address,
think, and my website is also accessible. Probably my team will get in touch with you, but from my team, you'll be able to get in touch with me from my website as well.
yeah, and your email address, if, folks, if you're watching, you want to send an email to
Yeah,
Osama, that's right there, osama.thesocialnexus@gmail.com. And also your website. Your website is thesocialnexus.org, right?
yep,
Okay,
yes,
perfect.
that's the one.
Okay, so folks, if you're watching, you want to reach out to Osama to for any reason whatsoever to learn more about what he's up to, what he's building, and essentially to connect at a deeper level, to learn more about AI and how we are going to be outsmarting it, or we could outsmart it in the near future. That's the place where you need to go now. Thesocialnexus.org. That being said, Osama, the only thing left for me to say is thank you because you were so gracious as to accept an invitation in such a short notice that I was amazed. So thank you for your availability.
Hmm.
I need to make Osama. I need to make a couple of announcements. So let me just
Yeah,
make the announcements, but stay here with me, and then we'll wrap up. Okay?
yeah, yeah, 100%,
Sure. Okay.
of course.
For the viewers out there, I'm just going to make a couple of announcements of what's coming. I mean, there's a lot more coming in the calendar section of advanciotalks.com, but specifically, I have two guests that I would like to announce that are coming soon. Never mind the date. I mean, we had to reschedule this one, and this is going to be on December the 3rd. So scratch that. It's not October the 27th. It's December the 23rd. We're going to be speaking with Trevor Lewinsky, the managing partner at Machu Brands, and the topic is going to be transforming performers into winners. And also, this is going to be a good one. One of the hot ones is going to be the accidental data nerd, because we're going to be speaking with Paul Zikopoulos. He's none other than the VP of IBM Technology Group Skills, Vitality, and Enablement at IBM. So, and that's going to be also on December. So you see the dates are crooked. Again, never mind the dates. Just go to advancio.com and you'll see the dates. But I just wanted to get everyone ready for these two conversations that we're going to be having soon with these two gentlemen. So that being said, Osama, really appreciate you having been on the show today. Stay with me as we go off the air. And do you have any final words of wisdom, Osama, for the
Thank
audience?
you. Thank you so much, Carlos, for having me. I don't think I'm capable of giving wisdom advices, but the last thing I would like to say is that we're not here to compete with AI, but rather than leverage AI to our usage. So the future is scary, the future is exciting, and I wish everyone best of luck.
Same to you. And everyone else,
Same to you. Thank you so much.
see you next time. And you, Osama, stay with me, please.
Have a good one. Thank you.